space and more margin. Okay. So today I'm excited. We're going to talk about, just for a few minutes, the 4 pillars of productivity. And a lot of times when we think of productivity, we think about doing more. But my life's work is intertwined with helping us to do less of all the things and only what really, really matters. And so many times we have this long to-do list. I understand long to-do list plus family plus work and all these things. But the pillars of productivity are designed to help you streamline. And I've taught this for students at universities, to mom conferences, to entrepreneur conferences, to all the places. And hopefully today there are some tips and tricks and hacks that you guys can pull out of this. Know that I'm trying to do the expedited workshop version, but if you need more, I'm going to give y'all my phone number after this is over. You can text me and just say what you need, okay? All right. We got 4 pillars. I'm going to go through each one. Number 1, create. Create. 2, communicate. 3, delegate. Everybody wants to jump to this part. We always want to jump to 3. I don't want to do anything. And then number 4 is alleviate. Create, communicate, delegate, alleviate. Got 4 8s. Okay. Number 1 is to create a family vision. Create a family vision. Now, family is a loose term, right? We can say what we want our community to look like. What do I want my network of people around me to look like? Especially if we're past the age of, raising kids. Our kids are grown, right? I'll get there one day. Our children are grown, or we're in a different phase of life. But still, creating a family vision means going into what's important and who is important. What's important and who is important? What is the priority? What's the priority right now? One day, although we hope that it is 75 years from now, we will be a memory. Who will be carrying on that legacy? Who's going to talk about us around the Thanksgiving table? Who is going to say, wow, she taught me this, and I'll carry this with me for the rest of my life. This was a game changer for me. Some of the moms in my community, they're just happy to hear it's okay for me not to share my snacks. That's all they needed to hear. They needed to know it's okay for me to eat the dessert in front of my children and not give them any. They needed that permission. That may be part of my legacy, but that's not the main event, right? The main event is Stephen Garrett, the husband, these 5 kids that live here, who it's my position to instill in them what they need to live lives full of wisdom and intention and purpose, right? Like, my family vision incorporates flexibility. And sometimes we sleep in late because that's important to us, and we travel as a family and think that's part of our family vision. What's on yours? Who is on yours? And how do I show those people that they are important to me today? How do I show them that they matter to me today? This could be friends, spouse, partner, homegirl from Runaway, the people that are in our network, that when we're in a distressful moment, they're relying on us, we're relying on them. The people I'm in covenant relationship with, like, God holds me responsible for how I treat those people. Those folks, they're in the family vision. And so when we start to think about the grand scope of our life, what's important and who is important? Create a family vision. Number 2, communicate your needs to your loved ones. Now, a lot of us, we are evolving. You're going to go home from this event. You're going to go home and you're going to be excited and have a shift of perspective. Your eyes are going to be open in some new ways. You know, people come to our annual conference and they're like, yes, I'm a new woman. And we forget that the people in our community, the people that we live with, did not get this time. They did not see firsthand what helped to change us in our hearts or in our minds, or these dynamic moves that we want to make. I want to do less. I want to be this person. I want to shut the house down earlier. All these things, they weren't here to hear this part. So we have to be patient with the people that we care about as they learn the new version of us. We have to be able to communicate the needs that we have to them in a way they can receive and respond to. Sometimes we want to jump ahead and we have not yet communicated what they actually need to know. When I told my husband, baby, there's some things I want to do differently, I'm taking it up a notch. One communication I had to have was, after our conference this year, I'm not coming back the same night. Y'all will see me tomorrow. I need a massage. I need a day in the hotel by myself. Like, I need some time, you know. Usually I come back because I actually do miss them. But this year I'm turning off the missing and I'm taking this extra day, right? So we have to, you know, be okay with communicating our needs in a healthy way that they can actually make a change if there is one needed to be made. So we have create a family vision, what's important and who's important. And then communicating your needs to your loved ones. What do you need? What do they need? And how do we synchronize that? Number 3, delegate unnecessary tasks. Now, there are some things that we cannot give away, right? Some things, you know, unless you're in one of those different kind of relationships, you know, if you marry, you might not nobody else need to be up on your significant other, right? We don't share that. We cannot delegate that. I cannot, right? We have a problem. There's no space for work wife, none of the things. We're not doing that, okay? So that I can't delegate who's loving on my husband. He's all 6 foot in chocolate. I got to tell him he looks good and smells good before he leaves the house. I can't delegate being his cheerleader. I can't delegate loving on my kids and affirming them in the ways that only their mother can do. But there are a whole lot of other things that cloud up our list where we have that's on the board and all these other places that we can give away to someone else. Does anyone care who cleans the house? Do they care? They don't care. All that matters is that it gets done, right? If some of my ladies are entrepreneurs and they got to pay attention to social media and all this drama, nobody really cares about who designed that flyer. You just have to get to the mission. You have to get to the end of the spectrum. And so what we have to ask ourselves is, am I doing things that it doesn't matter if I do it? If I only got paid for these 3 things or these 4 things, what's in my job description? Because sometimes we as women, especially us as Black women, we take on ownership of things that never had our name on it. Just to feel good that we did it. And then be upset. You hear me? Upset when no one applauds the extra. I can come blow through my house, clean everything. And then once my family come back, it's like, what is the problem? But I'll tell you that changed when they started doing the work. Now they police themselves. I don't have to follow behind them to say, do this, do that. They tell each other, you better wash out that cup because I'm not doing it when it's my kitchen day, right? There's a shift. I'm able to stop micromanaging all the time and hovering over unimportant things so I can have quiet moments just like this with you ladies to say, hey, how can we make a shift? Am I owning some things that I don't have to own? Is it clouding me from being the best version of myself and walking fully in my purpose because I'm supposed to be this powerhouse, diva, phenom coach, right? And I'm over here worried about the dishes. I'm over here worried about these small things that somebody else could respond to that email. Somebody else could correlate that meeting. Someone else can do some of these things. And so I want to encourage you, even after I'm signed off, to do a list and have on one side, these are things I cannot give away to somebody else. My loved one has to hear it from me that I think you're incredible. They need to hear that from me, right? But over here, they really don't care who cooked the food as long as it's good food. So some of our ladies might get meal services and cleaning services and a virtual assistant and all these things because I don't have to do this part. But over here, this nurturing, this loving on, this casting the vision, right? Having a mission statement that aligns. We got to work on that part first. Some of this other frivolous stuff I can give away to somebody else. So we have create the vision, communicate your needs, delegate unnecessary tasks, stop owning it all. And number 4, you will alleviate your stress and your overwhelm because you have more time for self-care and self-awareness. If you know what's important and who's important, and we're spending time showing those people that that's the case, right? We can have all our goals and lofty. It was my goal to be in Essence magazine for like 3 years. As soon as I got the idea in my mind, I was like, I gotta have it. Does my family care? No. I mean, they were proud of me, but it wasn't like, for me, it was a thing that I was working towards. But in the grand scheme of my life, like, that's just a part of a memory. But what they really need is me as the attentive at-home version, right? So we have to think about what's important and who's important. And then we have to say, I'm going to give away the tasks that are not aligned with being that person. So I have more space to do my job well. I have more space to enjoy my family. Because when we think about, all the tasks and things to do, it takes away from that joy. And so we will alleviate our stress and take away some of our overwhelm if we're giving away those unnecessary things. If our families now know what we need, or our friends or the people that love and support us, they now know, listen, girl, if I haven't been out for brunch this month, call me, come get me. Tell me you're not taking no for an answer. Pull up to the house. Bring the coffee in with you if I just refuse to go. But I need help with pressing pause. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to turn that off. And so we create, we communicate, we delegate, and then we alleviate our stress because we're no longer doing things that aren't serving us. Questions, comments?
Christina, is the only way for communication, is that verbal, or can it be shown in other ways?
Communication, so communication can be verbal, it can be written, right? It can be neither. It can come across in our facial expressions. So, my suggestion, especially if, my husband, he's very direct, and sometimes I'm not as direct. I might beat around the bush, and sometimes I have to say, you know what? I thank you for thinking of me, but no, I don't want that. Like, no thanks. Like, I appreciate it, but no, I don't want that. He can eat cheesecake at midnight and not gain no weight because he's a whole man. They can do that. Me, I have cheesecake at midnight. It's not good for me, right? I need to be able to cut that off. So I have to be able to communicate that to him. If I want an extra day or, more opportunities and things are happening, it's still my job to say to him, this is where I see my work going. This is where I see my career going. This is where I need more help with the kids, right? Because I got 4 sons, 14 down to 4. They walk around here just big, And so some days I need to say, you need to take your son with you. And you need to talk to him because he's talking about man parts and I don't have none of those. Okay? You need to take your son. So just, sometimes we beat around the bush sometimes, and other days we need to say, hey, I love you. I need support in this way, in a way that's endearing, not when we're frustrated and mad. Sometimes we communicate in our anger, when we're finally frustrated. We want to do that at a time where they can receive it and respond to it. That's the most optimal time. Anybody else? Anything I didn't address? Do you want to be addressed? Okay. All right, my phone number.
Yeah, how can we reach you? What does that look like?
Yeah.
If one of us or a group wants to connect and do this more often?
Yeah, absolutely. Just reach out, let me know when, where, how. I am very happy to be present and support. I'm about to give y'all my phone number so you can take it down. 301. I'm a DC girl. 301-592. Who?
Are you in Miami?
I live in Alabama now. But yes, I'm originally from the DC area. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. What happened?
What part of DC?
Northeast.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm a DC girl. I'm in 301.
Yes.
301-592.
Yes, 301-592-7069. And so you can feel free to reach out for whatever.
Christina?
Ma'am?
What's your last name?
Garrett. Garrett. And I have tweaked the pillars for students and for moms and for all the things. But I think it's important that we know what we're working towards. You know, like, why are we doing all of this? It's to be great in this moment, but there are going to be these folks that sing our praises long after we're gone. You know, long after we're gone. So am I investing in those places now so that I don't feel regret later? You know, like I want to feel like I'm giving the best of myself and I can have more peace and more space, more rest and time for the things that matter. So feel free to shoot me a text. I'm excited to connect with you all in whatever ways you need me to do so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. You all enjoy the rest of your time and your sessions, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.